Hi and welcome to each and every one of you joining us for this pre-recorded show. We are recording early doors on Wednesday morning for the meeting on Thursday, the 4th of April, which takes place at the Vaal. It is a 9-race program, and joining me on the line is Alistair Cohen, who will be giving us his selections throughout the card, and all 9 races will be taking you through. Firstly, Alistair, how are you doing? And then secondly, what do you make of the card that is presented in front of us?
Good day, Sheldon. Good day to all the listeners. I hope everybody's well. I think the best way to describe this card on Thursday at the Vaal is the calm before the storm. Obviously, Saturday is going to be out the top draw champions at Turf Container. It doesn't get any better. It's one of my favourite race days on the South African calendar. Easily my favourites in Joburg. And as you'd expect, 2 days out, there are no champions running. The first race is easily the most intriguing race on the card, and then from there, I think the stances of Lucky Hudalakis has a good day, I'll have a good day. If Lucky has a bad day, then I'll have a bad day.
Well, let's hope we have a lucky day on the day, as they say. Excuse the pun. Let's get straight into the action. 9-race program, so race number 1 will not form part of the exotics. We have an odds-on favourite, number 8, Winds of Change, from the Aussie team, runner-up in both efforts to date, the son of What a Winter, at around about 3.5 to 10. Number 3, Don't Cry For Me at 28 to 10, and it's 8 to 1 and better the rest. Scratches number 5, one more, so only 7 runners go to post. And Alistair, when you look at the betting, there's going to have to be something quite special to beat number 8, Winds of Change, obviously barring number 3, Don't Cry For Me, who also ran second first time out.
Yeah, quite right, Sheldon. Winds of Change brings 2 very, very solid runs from Cape Town into the picture. The first thing I want to address about this meeting at the Vaal is the configuration of the track. The outside rail set at 0, so high number draws are going to be advantageous. It should be advantageous at this meeting at the Vaal as opposed to the last 2 meetings where the inside draws were the Golden Highway. Winds of Change will take all the beating. Half Brother to Safe Passage and Silver Sanctuary. Safe Passage already a Grade 1 winner. Silver Sanctuary Grade 1 placed multiple times already as a 3-year-old, drawn hard up on the outside. The run to 1 stripe shines them in a very, very positive light. The Aussie horses that went to Cape Town that are having their first runs back in Joburg, they've had a bit of a leg up, so to speak. They've had a slight advantage having grinded their teeth down in the Cape. So number 8, Winds of Change, I think you can start your day off with him expected to win. 3, Don't Cry For Me, very encouraging debut, stayed on strongly, but I believe that the 1-stripe Roman agent form will be stronger than Taxi to the Moon form. But with that said, I think Don't Cry For Me is still going to develop into a useful horse. The debut was eye-catching. Joey Soma, I spoke to him at the Vaal last week. He's got some very promising young 2-year-olds, which I heard before I spoke to Joey. Both of them ran very nicely on Thursday at the Vaal. You won't get a price about either of them. Not Joey's style to get them ready and rearing to go first time out. So 6, Serrano could end up being one to pick up for the future. And then number 7, Sicily is probably from the strongest form line, juvenile form line in South Africa. But there's a line of form with Little Ballerina and 1 stripe that makes Sicily needing to improve a good 10 lengths to get close to Winds of Change. So 8 Winds of Change, hard to beat race 1.
Right, let's move on to race number 2, which will be the commencement of the buy-pot. So buy-pot players need to have their bets on by 12:35. Just looking at the betting, joint 5 to 2 favourites, number 3, Bosom Buddy, and number 5, Kindred Heart. Number 7, Milo's Millionaire, out 5 to 1. And a little bit of early support for number 9, Scars of War, from around 6 to 1 down 5 to 1. Kelvin Abib for the Tony Peters stable. So obviously we'll have to keep an eye on the first timers. Of the race runners, number 5, Kindred Heart from the Brett Crawford stable. 3rd, 2nd, and a 3rd. And more importantly, there's been winners from the form line. So the form lines have held up. Anything on the ground about the first timers, Alistair, that you've heard?
No, I've heard nothing about the first time. It's interesting that Daughter of Heavenly Blue, drawn 1, out of a Judpot mare who's thrown horses that stay 2,000 metres, has been punted first time out. That doesn't make any appeal. Certainly not first time out. So, I mean, I'd be interested in her when she goes a mile and around the turn from draw 1. But to answer your question, no, the first time is there's no word out, certainly not to my knowledge. Breeding-wise, maybe number 4, Diamond Dash, makes a little bit of appeal, but again, that would be more of a guess-up than anything concrete. I think the 2 at the top of the boards are the 2 to focus on here, Sheldon, with a slight persuasion to number 3, Bosom Buddy. The run to Pinatubo was fair first time out, but also ran fifth, trained by Corne Spies. We're at Hollywoodbets Scottsville on Monday, on Easter Monday, and Marco van Rensburg. So that form line has also taken a turn for the better. She's got more scope to improve than number 5, Kindred Hearts, although, as you say, Kindred Hearts got winners across her form lines as well. But I think number 3, Bosom Buddy, might have a little bit more scope to improve. Both of them have to go into the bar pot, there's no doubt about that. But top choice, number 3, Bosom Buddy, over 5, Kindred Hearts. And then after that, just about anything for trifectas and quartets.
Now, your chosen bet for the day, suggested bet, is the Place Accumulator, which will commence in race number 3, being a 9-race program. 2,800 meters to kick off the Place Accumulator, so a test of stamina to see who's got that high octane. And just looking at your numbers here, Alistair, you going with the tried and tested number 1 out of your league, who's a 5-time winner, the 7-year-old from the Fabian Abib stable. And you're also going with number 3, Lisan, who ran second to a fraud last time out. These are your top 2 selections.
Yeah, let's start with number 3, Leeson. It is my second choice. It was a huge run from Leeson on the back of a 3.5-month layoff over a mile and a half of the Vaal last time. I watched him closely because I've always quite liked him, but he's obviously had a few issues. He didn't run between July 2022 and November 2023, so nearly 18 months off the track. And it's clearly been a slow burn to get him to some type of form. And I watched him in his last start, and Kachetti was scrubbing along the whole way, and the first half of the race looked like he was needing it badly, but he stayed on quite well, and just the final 100 meters he kind of spat it out and had enough. So he'll be far better with that run under the belt. He's got more weight to carry this time around, but I think he's capable. But the top choice is number 1 out of your league. He's got even more weight to lug run. He's giving weight to the entire field. But with that said, he was used as a sacrificial lamb for a stable companion and his little brother Zeus for a lot of the feature races, the staying feature races, where, as you can see, he went 7 lengths dear at one stage. He really stretched them out again in a pinnacle on the 3rd of February, and Zeus was just a better horse, a younger horse, a fresher horse. But then last time, when he was allowed to run his own race, at his own pace, going to the front, he nearly pulled it off from Positive Attitude. He was a progressive stayer. So without the presence of a stable companion that he needs to make pace for, number 1 out of your league is going to be the one that they will need to beat. Over 1,000 days without a win for the son of Elusive Fort. He is a former South African Derby winner. He won the Derby during COVID, so those are his capabilities. And although he's no 10 out of 10 bet, I think that this is probably his best opportunity of winning in a while. So.
Right, let's move on to race number 4, which will be the opening leg of the Pick 6. And just to muddy the waters, not for the Pick 6, because unraced horses, if they come through to win and you got the first race horse home, then you sail through. Because the betting has number 5, Sneak Preview, the first timer, the daughter of Fire Away from the Lucky Hudalaka stable, priced up as your 5-2 favourite with Craig Zaki. And we've seen it on numerous occasions when Lucky Hudalaka sends out his runners. If they find support, they can win on debut, and he's renowned for doing very well with these horses. Nice to see Tony Moodley's colours, the red and yellow checks with the emerald green sleeves and cap. And number 5, Sneak Preview, is the 5-2 favourite. Bilingual, number 1, is 33-10. And then number 9, Messalina, is at 7-2. I think you've gone with numbers 1, 3, and 9 in your Place Accumulator.
Correct, Sheldon. It's a race that I don't think you can be too comfortable in. It's the start of the Pick 6, and I think you might need more than just the 3 horses. Obviously, with the first timer being absolutely anything and being favoured, you can use that rule to your advantage. I had a look at the pedigree of number 5, Sneak Preview, and I'd venture to say that although well-bred, should be most effective over a little bit further. But it's a race that won't take much winning, so respect the fact that Sneak Preview is at the top of the boards. I actually had a chat to Craig Zaki at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on Tuesday, and we were chatting about his runners, and he doesn't know anything about this horse of Fire Away, to be honest. So, but that has a lot to do with the fact that he's travelling and riding work is at a bit of a premium these days for Craig. So I think the tried and tested numbers 1, 3, and 9 we should get through. Bilingual, 2 good starts. She actually is a good looking daughter of Willow Magic. I've seen her close up. She's got a lot of size and substance, and I know it's taken her a while to get anywhere where she needs to, but Gavin Arena retains the run, which I think is a very good sign. 3 Like a Butterfly, drawn on the right side of the track, or what should be the right side of the track, ran a nice race to Galadorn last time. That was a desperately weak maiden field, but at least there were signs of life from this daughter of William Longsword, who tries a mile for the second time in her career. He was 1,400 metres. He's been a mile twice in her career, and they've been dismal runs, but at least there was something to like about her last run from number 3, Like a Butterfly. And then the 2-year-old, number 9, Messalina, obviously Cornet, going back to the same horse that won at Hollywoodbets Scottsville on Monday, 2-year-old against all the company. It's going to take quite a lot to win over 1,400 metres down the straight as a 2-year-old against older company, never mind the strength of the older company. But Messalina caught my eye to an extent last time. She finished off her race quite well, this daughter of Ferrari, so she just looks like the horse is not far away from winning and should back up that run with another pleasing run, if not winning here.
Right, race number 5, which is due off at 14:20 over 1,400 metres. Looking at this event, race number 5, they have number 2, Elegant Ice, the 3-year-old daughter of Wada Winter. And you mentioned if Lucky Hoodalakis and Craig Zaki are going to have a good day, you'll be in the pound seats and all your followers. Here's a horse who ran in the Grade 1, Alan Robinson, when finishing 3rd to Mrs. Geriatrics. Currently off a 96, has been very consistent of late. She's in your top 2, along with number 7, Alabama Anna. So it's the youngsters taking on the tried and tested horses here, Alistair.
And I've gone with the 2 lucky horses as well. So I sent these selections through before I chatted to Craig. And I said, right, Craig, Elegant Ice, 1,400 metres. Her worst run was over the distance. What do you think? He said, if she's ready to go 1,400 metres now, she'll win. That's the only question mark, is whether she'll last 1,400 metres. Last time, I think she might have just gone a step too quickly, because I gave her a good chance of turning over ready to charge off the weight turnaround. But a combination of her just probably needing it and maybe going a stride too quickly, Elegant Ice to spin in the hole last time. So I think she'll be better for the run. She's trying 1,400 metres again. It's foolproof. Whether she'll get 1,400 metres, I think that she probably will get 1,400 metres, especially at home at the Vaal, where she's based, but there is got to be a disclaimer about that. If she doesn't, then number 7, Alabama Anna, will be there to pick up the pieces. I know she's got an inside draw, but in a field of 10, she's got the run style to drop in and follow the pack. Caden Brewer takes the ride. It's the first time that he rides this daughter of the United States, but he does do a lot of work for Lucky. Their last number of runs have just been too consistent to ignore, and if not winning, she should go very close. So from a place accumulator perspective, very confident that Alabama Anna will be in the top 3, but it's all about whether Elegant Ice goes 1,400 metres or not. If she does, I think she'll win.
That takes us on to event number 6. So race number 6 at 14:55 over the 1,400 metre journey. Now, just having a look at the early time of recording, you can take out number 6, Galadorn. So 9 runners will go to post. You can scratch number 9, Galadorn. As far as the betting goes, number 3, MK's Dreams, one of the 3-year-olds, priced up 22-10. Number 1, Mount Pilatus, which is another 3-year-old, at 33-10. And then number 2, Richard the First, is 7-2. And number 4, Master Christmas, also 7-2. And then we go out to 5-1 and better the rest. Now, you going with the 3-year-olds, number 3, MK's Dream, who's coming off a decent 3rd to Warhawk Bomber, and after that ran 2nd to Presley. And then number 4, Master Christmas, after winning the maiden, wasn't disgraced 2nd time out, but last time took off in the closing stages behind Jury's Out, and that was an Ameritrated 80 handicap. So you going with the 3-year-olds here?
And to solidify that, Sheldon, number 4, Master Christmas, was drawn on the complete wrong side of the track. Go look at the run-ons on the Tab Gold website or the Tab 4 Racing website, whichever you use, and have a look at all the horses that featured on that day and where they were drawn. They were all low-number draws, and Master Christmas was one of 2 horses on the entire card who I think ran in the top 4 in those big fields, drawn in double figures. It was a big run for Master Christmas, and even though my last horse won, I'm under no illusions that if Master Christmas was drawn single figures, it probably would have been a different winner. Got a £3 penalty for being a loser, which I hate, but under those circumstances, I'm not totally against it. And he was just the eye catcher last time, the son of Master of my fate. The way that he ran on the wrong side of the track, he was miles clear of anything else that was drawn on the outside in the race, and that just stuck with me. So number 4, Master Christmas, is my top choice. And I think the fact that he receives weight from Mount Pilatus and from Richard the First, 2 very nice, scopy 3-year-olds, I think that Master Christmas might be in the pound seat to back up that run with a huge effort here. My backup is number 3, MK's Dreams, who moved up a winner last time out, hit the front 400 metres out and was undone by a horse running in the South African Derby in the form of Presley. Presley seriously progressive. MK's Dreams is drawn towards the extreme outside, which is where you want to be. he's got pace, and I think that he can probably be a difficult horse to peg back. So comfortable with the two horses. I think the winner comes from one of them, numbers 3 and 4. But Master Christmas's last run just sticks with me enough to give him the narrow points over number 3, MK's Dreams.
On to race number 7, and looking at the 7th race, it's over 1,400 meters. Now, when you look at the official merit ratings, number 3, Miss Hannigan, which is one of your top 2 selections, you've gone numbers 3 and 10. I think that's Secret Recipe, the daughter of Pomodora. But Miss Hannigan ran 4th to Mrs. Geriatrics, then behind Mrs. Geriatrics, 7.5 lengths, and the last run 2nd to War Queen. She was a 93. She's racing up a 78 currently. How do you fit in number 3, Miss Hannigan, in this contest?
Right up there, Sheldon. If she was drawn with a slightly higher number, I'd go very close to banking her. I liked her a lot last time behind War Queen. I really made a good case for her, and she just did her best work a little bit too late, giving the idea that the extra furlong is going to suit her to no end. I think that she's got the type of style that will help her drop in, and she'll be closing in late. I don't know what to make of the fact that Stable Jockey rides number 5, Northern Kitten, on the back of one of your work riders maiden last time, and a desperately weak work riders last time. I mean, the run to Dal Solo, that was a weak maiden, and if you want to know how weak the Northern Kitten form line looks, the Navy lot was 100 to 1 when running second. So there's not much to get excited about in my book. But Dennis Schwanz is taking the ride on Northern Kitten. I don't know what to make of that. I think Miss Hannigan's a better horse, as you mentioned. I don't think Northern Kitten will ever get to a rating of 93, whereas Miss Hannigan's at the 78, and she's got to be above the curve now, which she's shown in the last couple of starts with signs of love. So Miss Hannigan right up there. My backup is number 10, Secret Recipe. I think with a slightly lighter weight, she could be a bit of a danger. The last run to Mia Fiore was sort of franked because Mia Fiore ran a very close up third to Lucy in the Sky. A week later, Lucy Yenny takes a ride for the Aussies. I think that she's just in the right place to give a good sight. She's also drawn towards the outside, which is going to be a big advantage. She shows pace. There's been very little rain in Joburg, although it is expected to start coming down from Thursday, so hopefully it misses this race meeting. And on a fast track where a lot of horses that show pace are dangerous, number 10, Secret Recipe, might be difficult to take back. An intriguing race, but there's no doubt number 3, Miss Hannigan's my top choice.
Moving along to race number 8, that'll be the last double for the guys playing to races 8 and 9. 16:10 is the carded off time over 1,000 meters. Now, Alistair, in the early timer recording, let me just double check here. 2 scratchings, number 5, In the Ether, and also number 7, Miraculous Man. So we're down to a field of 7 runners. And just looking at the betting, number 1, Amber Rock is 18-10 from the Aussie team. Number 4, Kinshan Shah, 2-1. Number 2, Daring Actors, 28-10. And after that, it's 8-1 and better the rest. Let's kick off with your selections, numbers 4 and 9. In a 7-horse party, you'll be looking to go through race number 8.
And I'm hoping to survive. I'm hoping to turn over the top weight here, Sheldon, because I think Amber Rock, a filly carrying top weight, is going to be vulnerable. There's no doubt that she's not a bad filly, and she probably needed her 2 runs back from Cape Town. Her first run back from Cape Town to Zarbomba was actually very good when there was support for her, and she just lacked a little bit extra. But maybe one of the Aussies, they know how to place their horses and they know how to space the runs out. But I don't know, the runs look like they're coming a little bit too quickly for number 1, Amber Rock, who is known to have an issue or two, as she showed in the Colts nursery as a 2-year-old about 12 months back when not finishing the race behind Lucky Lad, but she's come back obviously a fit and happy horse. And the same applies for number 2, Daring Act, 3-year-old with a lot of weight and showing all the pace that he did last time. I don't know, I think that they're going to be vulnerable to those lighter weights. Number 4, Kinshan Shah, if you ignore all the 1,200 metre runs, this horse has actually got some pretty good form. I know he's been over the distance 4 times for a win in a second. The second to Stormy Seas doesn't look all that pretty because Stormy Seas has run subsequently and didn't raise much of a threat. But I think number 4, Kinshan Shah, better horse at the Vaal, and I like the run after a race that might not look all that pretty, finishing 6.5 lengths to Time for Orchids, but Time for Orchids is well on her way to being a threatening sprinter in Joburg. She's unbeaten in Joburg. She's 4 from 4 in Joburg, and Kinshan Shah had no right to live with her at the weights when they met on the 22nd of February, but it still wasn't a terrible effort, and then last time was a good run as well behind Stormy Sea. So I think number 4, Kinshan Shah, is well placed. It's again Lucky Hudalakis and Craig Zaki. And then number 9, Samoa Shame, the 9-year-old mare. She turns 10 in a few months' time. What a mare she's been. Sianda Sosibo takes the run. She reserves her best for the Vaal. She's overdue her next win. She'll probably get it in the winter, but I can see her doing her best work late, giving the connections a little bit of a thrill in the closing stages and running somewhere there or thereabouts. So she shouldn't be all that far away, number 9. Samoa. Probably more of a sentimental choice than a logical one. But Forkin Shaw, I think, is the horse they're all going to have to beat.
Rightio, let's go on to race number 9. And when looking at race number 9, quite an open-looking affair. They are betting 3-1 the field with number 1, Copper John, the current favourite at 3-1. And I think the master stroke could be the 4 kilograms off the back. So you've got to respect number 1, Copper John. But I think we're both going to be on the same page here with number 5, JP2000. A decent price at around 8-1. Once upon a time was an 86. Unfortunately, the handicapper hasn't been too lenient on JP2000, dropped him 2 points for the penultimate run, and the last time only dropping a point. I thought maybe 2-3 points would have been more realistic. But if number 5, JP2000, brings the A game, at 8-1, you can't get hurt, Alistair?
Sheldon, he is my bet on the card, number 5, JP2000. I banked him in the place accumulator. And I'd be very tempted to bank him in the pick 6. I might get cold feet come the first leg of the pick 6 for number 5, JP2000, but I think that the price is worth a bet. Dennis was on board for the informed Fabian Haddad. They've created a very good partnership since the end of last year. As you say, maybe the racing's coming down a little bit too slowly for our liking, but from a once 86 down to a 67. I know that he's been okay on the inside track in the past, but I think a more free galloping track like the Vaal is going to suit him better. The run to a place in the sun, last time a place in the sun, nearly pulled off a win at Turfentine on Thursday. I think all that looks good. I think that he is running in the calmest waters he's run in a very, very, very long time. It's a very shallow race. It's not deep at all. Just having a look at that form run to a place in the sun from the last start that JP2000 brings and just sort of adding all the eggs into one basket. Be Real, who ran second, was a direct winner out of that form, but perhaps more crucially is the horse that was beaten 4 lengths by JP2000, the Nkosana, came out and ran third in a race of very similar standing. So all that I think adds up, and I think JP2000 it's actually, to be fair, the only horse that really makes strong appeal to me in the final race in the card. I really like him quite strongly, Sheldon.
Well, we're on the same page there. I don't think the 8-1 is going to be there race time. I think around about 9-2, 5-1. That's more realistic price about number 5, JP2000. And if the guys are looking to play the exactors and the swingers, what do you make of number 1, Copper John? Ran 4th to Future Wolf last time out. Runs off a 77. But like I mentioned, they're taking the 4 kgs off the back. Would he be in your second or third order?
By default, he is, Sheldon. He's caught me out a few times. He needs a hard ride. He's pretty lazy to get around the track. His run style, he kind of drops the bridle. And, I love Tread Mayhew. I mean, I don't know if you remember the days of the Vaal when he used to come into the commentary box and sit there, and he had a great sense of humour. But I think that Copper John needs a certain type of ride that doesn't lend itself to a 4-kilo apprentice. I think the stronger jockey would get the most out of Copper John. Maybe I've read that incorrectly. He's got the credentials to be right there, but I think the more grizzled jockey would be more preferred. That's the way I read it.
Well, there we go. Number 5, JP2000. We're on the same page at 8-1. We'll be having some of that. So Alice and I will both be in the same boat, and we'll either be floating or we'll be sinking after race number 9. Now, Alistair, thanks very much for all the hard work you do throughout the season. We're going to bring up your place accumulator, which is your suggested bet for the day. So for all your followers out there, if you wouldn't mind going through the place accumulator. Thanks very much.
Fairly early start, Sheldon. 12 o'clock was when the first race gets underway, and 1:10 is the start of the PA. So 1 and 3 out of your league and Leeson in the first leg. Second leg, first leg of the pick 6, where you needed quite a few horses. 1 Bilingual, 3 Like the Butterfly, 9 Messalina, with obvious eyes on the first timer. Then race 5, third leg of the PA, 2 Elegant Ice, and 7 Alabama Anna, the Lucky Hudalakis pair. By 3 and 4, MK's Dreams and Master Christmas. Then 3 and 10, so those are Miss Hannigan and Secret Recipe, are 4 Kinchin Shah and 9 Samoa, and the final leg banker, number 5 JP2000. It's a long wait until the play of the day, but at that price, it'll be worth waiting for.
Well, Alistair, you mentioned the weather pattern and the weather gods. They predict that the rain is on the way in Gauteng, and also KwaZulu-Natal. There's wet weather predicted for the weekend. So we're just going to have to wait and see how the weekend pans out.
Look, Sheldon, it's needed. I was in Joburg last week, and Joburg's dry at the moment. So the weather forecast is going to be good news for a lot of people, but hopefully it doesn't interfere with the race meeting on Saturday. That is one of the race meetings of the year. No matter what happens for the rest of the year, it'll be memorable. There are obviously a lot of top horses in action. Great to have some Cape representation and also some KZN representation. Saturday is really what I think everyone's looking forward to, and hopefully the curtain raiser on Thursday goes according to plan.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Alistair, for your time. All the best and be safe.
Sure, Sheldon. Same to you.
Thanks very much to Alistair Cohen giving us his lowdown on the card out at the Vaal. Now it's up to the horses, the jockeys and the trainers to do their bit, and hopefully your horse will run faster than the next horse.